The West spent $2 trillion, 2 decades, and thousands of lives to remove the Taliban, then handed the country right back to them and called it mission accomplished. This has to be the biggest strategic faceplant of the century. Here's the part no one in Washington or Brussels wants to say out loud. Taliban-controlled Afghanistan is no longer just Pakistan's problem. It is the single largest, most active terrorist production facility on earth. And if the West keeps pretending this won't come home again, then they're in for a surprise. Since Kabul fell, over 2,300 Pakistani soldiers and civilians have been killed by Taliban-sheltered TTP terrorists. ISIS-K has doubled in size and is now plotting attacks on concerts in Vienna and arenas in Moscow. Al-Qaeda runs 8 training camps in eastern Afghanistan, confirmed by the UN. The Taliban collect taxes from every one of these groups and call it governance. This isn't a country. It's a terrorist super-incubator with a seat at the United Nations. Afghanistan has crushed every foreign occupation for 3,000 years, so it's a folly invading the country. Outsiders don't win there. Locals do. And right now, the most credible local force fighting the Taliban is the National Resistance Front under Ahmad Massoud. Battle-hardened fighters from Tajik, Uzbek, Hazara, and other communities who never accepted Taliban's rule. They control pockets, they hold mountain strongholds, and crucially, they're willing to respect existing borders, willing to close terrorist sanctuaries and build an inclusive government. Pakistan is the only country that can turn this resistance from a nuisance into a knockout punch without ever sending its own troops across the line, across the border. Pakistan has the border access, the supply routes, the intelligence networks, and the urgent national interest because the TTP is killing its own soldiers every single week from Afghan soil. The Afghan resistance has already made the offer public. They will work with Pakistan. They will respect the Durand Line. They will shut the door on TTP and every other misled jihadist franchise. In return, they want the tools to finish the job. The West started 20 years ago. This is the deal of the century. Pakistan channels funding, weapons, drones, and real-time intel to the resistance. The West pays the bill, shares the satellites, and provides diplomatic cover. No Western boots, no open-ended occupation, just smart, ruthless leverage to do what airlifts and nation-building never could. Let Afghans remove the Taliban themselves. It's cheaper than 1 year of the Ukraine war, cheaper than keeping bases in Syria forever, and infinitely cheaper than the next plane flying into a skyscraper. Now, let's see what the objections may be. Let's bury them one by one. First, policymakers in the West think that it will cause a civil war. There's already a civil war. The Taliban are fighting everyone who refuses to live in medieval times. Backing the resistance simply decides who wins. Second, they believe that Pakistan helped create the Taliban. Now, that's not completely true. Regardless, even if it were true, the monster has now turned on its creator. Today, Pakistan has more incentive than anyone else to see the Taliban gone for good. That's called alignment of interests. The West worries about human rights and women and girls in case of war. The Taliban ban women from speaking in public, and they turn little boys into executioners. So the resistance is literally fighting for their sisters and daughters so they can go to school. If the West actually cares about Afghan women, then arming the people defending them is the fastest, most effective way to help. Every month, the West hesitates, ISIS-K gets stronger. Every month, another passport from London or New York lands in Kandahar for advanced training. Every month, China quietly expands its influence while the West pays the global security bill. This is not 2000. This is not 2001. Nobody's asking for hundreds of thousands of Americans or European soldiers. Just money, weapons, intel, and the green light to the one partnership that can actually end this nightmare. So here's the move. Smash like if you agree abandoning Afghanistan to the Taliban was one of history's greatest self-inflicted wounds. Share this video with one person who still thinks It's not our fight. And drop a single comment right now. Arm the resistance if you believe the West should finally finish what it started decisively, cheaply, and once and for all. Because history has one iron rule: ignore a terrorist sanctuary, and one day that sanctuary stops ignoring you. This is Realpolitik, the world's jungle. Either you fight or you run forever. So wake up or get ready to run.